In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Google Pixel 7 Pro and the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. Which one is the better buy? Now, I ask this specifically because, well, I think it's safe to say that the S23 Ultra is objectively the better phone. It just has more to offer. While I could easily end the video right there, you gotta remember that it also cost hundreds more than the 7 Pro, so is it automatically worth the extra cash? Or is the Pixel 7 Pro actually the way to go? Alright, so taking a look at the spec sheet comparison, it's pretty clear to see that we're already off to a lopsided start, from the Ultra's higher end processor and display to the more robust camera system and bigger and faster storage options. I do want to remind you that what's on paper is only part of the story when it comes to tech, and you shouldn't let specifications determine a phone on their own. There's more to these things than just specs. As it goes with most comparisons, a lot of things will boil down to pure personal preference. Like when it comes to the looks of both of these phones, personally, I like both, and their respective aesthetics are super simple and clean. Perhaps even boring, you could say. Neither really jumps out at you with its design, but they are easily recognizable. Neither of them feel cheap, but I will give the upper hand to the Ultra as it feels a bit sturdier, it's weightier, it's easier to get a grip on, and I definitely prefer frosted glass over glossy glass. But the 7 Pro does earn points for a more comfortable and manageable feel in the hand with its rounded corners. The Ultras are pretty sharp, and for better button placement. The volume buttons are lower on the side, making them easier to reach, so no hand gymnastics needed. Now, since these are both pretty boring looking phones, we gotta fix that. That's much better. These skins here come from dbrand, the sponsor of today's video. They have skins that fit anyone's style. From skins that keep it professional, calm, and subtle like the Alpine skin that shows off colors similar to mountains, or even the brown leather skin that is actual leather and looks great with age. Or you can get something more loud and fun, like this skin that makes the Pixel 7 Pro look like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, or this teardown skin that shows the inside of the Galaxy S23 Ultra. No matter what it is, there is a skin for everyone. They also have cases for that extra grip and drop protection. You can check out all of this and more using the very first link in the description. Taking a look at the displays, they're both high quality OLED panels and they're pretty similar in size, pixel density, and screen to body ratio, but that's about where the similarities end. If you really want to get technical about it, the 7 Pro is using Samsung's older E4 OLED screen, making it less efficient in terms of power consumption than the Ultra's screen. It can only go down to 10 Hz, whereas the Ultra's screen can go all the way down to 1 Hz, and it doesn't get nearly as bright either. How much that matters is up to you. The Ultra's display is better without question. Not only does it get much brighter and dimmer, it retains color accuracy and clarity under direct sunlight much better too. But personally, I've never had a problem with the 7 Pro's display though. It's still nice, it's crisp, and it's colorful, and it still gets bright enough to comfortably use outdoors in sunlight. When it comes to other intangibles, while it doesn't come without its flaws, the Galaxy's ultrasonic fingerprint sensor is faster, it's more secure and accurate, there's better tech behind it compared to the 7 Pro's optical scanner, which does get the job done, but struggles to keep up with its lack of consistency. Face unlock is a bit of a toss-up, but in my limited testing, I actually found that the Ultra misses the mark more often than the 7 Pro. Both sets of stereo speakers sound good, and they both get nice and loud, but the Ultras easily get the win here, as they sound fuller, clearer, low end is more pronounced, there's less distortion at high volume, and overall they just push out higher quality and better balanced sound. I give the 7 Pro the win for haptics though. They're tighter and they're stronger without being super obnoxious, and I think the software does a good job of utilizing the feedback. The Ultra's haptics are still very good, but they're a bit softer and just not as crisp. Both phones are IP68 certified for dust and water resistance. They both have wireless and reverse wireless charging, where the Pixel edges out the Ultra in wireless charging speeds provided you're using the Pixel stand, and the Ultra beats out the Pixel in wired charging speeds at 45 watts compared to the Pixel's 23 watts. The Ultra also has the S Pen, a tool that the Pixel just can't compete with. This little stylus adds a whole other set of use cases, and it tucks away nicely if you don't need it or want to use it at all. Okay, so now we gotta talk software, and aside from both devices running Android, the two couldn't be more different. If you're asking me to pick a winner here, that's almost impossible for me to do. Samsung's One UI is clearly loaded with more features, and the customization options are endless, with the ability to completely overhaul how things look and feel, like the home screen, the lock screen, always on display, the camera settings, there's the Good Lock application on top of that. It just does more. but to say that it's simply better because of that would be a mistake in my eyes. To me, this is subjective. One UI isn't going to be everyone's cup of tea, and the huge collection of features might be too much for or go completely unnoticed by users. The 7 Pro's pixelized Android is way cleaner. It's simple, it's straightforward, and easier for users to get into as there's a lot less going on. And it's not devoid of features either. It's got its own tricks up its sleeve, as we know. But being super clean and simple might be the exact reasons why people won't like it. A lot of things the Pixel does, the Galaxy can do too. And in some cases, the reverse is true as well. It's just a matter of picking your poison. If you ask me, I could have a different answer for you today than I would tomorrow. I love the fact that there's pretty much no shortage of what One UI can do, from everything that comes along with the S Pen, and basic things like being able to change the look of the recent apps page, to powerful things like Samsung Dex giving you a desktop-like experience. On the flip side, I really like the clean aesthetic of Google's take on Android and the quality of life features, from the rich voice recording functionalities, real-time transcriptions, and live translation, to the baked-in Now Playing feature and the collection of different call control features like call screening, hold for me, clear calling, direct my call, and call wait times. It all depends on what you really need and prefer. Now, one big difference is long-term update support, with the 7 Pro slated to get 3 years of OS updates and 5 years of security patches, whereas the Ultra is slated to get 4 years of OS updates and 5 years of security patches, so take that for what you will. When it comes to the cameras, this is a tough one because as far as results both sets can get you are concerned, for the most part, they're roughly in the same wheelhouse. I won't be getting too incredibly deep into this, as this category could easily be its own video, but in a nutshell, the Ultra does have the more well-rounded and robust camera system. Both the hardware and the software come together to make what I still believe to be the most versatile setup in a phone so far. The Pixel simply cannot touch what the Ultra has to offer when it comes to all of the many different modes as well as the zoom capabilities. However, going shot for shot here, both push out great looking photos. In general, Galaxy shots will come out more punchy and saturated, sometimes even oversaturated. The Pixel will push out more muted colors, most times even more color accurate. Darker skin tones are handled better on the Pixel. Selfies I gotta give to the Galaxy with better detail and clarity overall. Portrait shots have gotten better on the Galaxy and often come out better than what the Pixel cranks out. Video and stabilization I will give to the Galaxy, although the Pixel has stepped up its game lately. Low light shots are close, it really depends on the conditions you're taking pictures in. And as for the camera app user experience, personally I prefer the ease of use and the navigation in the Pixels app. I also prefer the Pixel's pull out of pocket point and snap factor, if that makes any sense. I feel like I know what I'm getting before I take the shot. The Galaxy still has that slight shutter delay, which I know a lot of people don't like, and in a number of cases I do end up preferring the Pixel's image processing. All in all, if I had to pick a winner, I'd have to go with the S23 Ultra's cameras. You get more control with things like Pro modes for both pictures and videos. There's an expert RAW mode you can add, which gets you wider dynamic range, even more control, and you get a shortcut to Adobe Lightroom. Whereas on the Pixel, again, you get a more simplified experience, but a well thought out one with easy to use temperature, shadow, and exposure control. There's a level to help you balance out your shots. There are unique features like photo unblur, there's Google Lens integration, Super Res Zoom holds its own, and the Pixel has its own RAW mode as well. The bottom line is both camera systems will get you some of the best results either way. Again, it just depends on what the user prefers. Moving on to performance and battery life, this is where what's on the spec sheet really matters. Now, both devices sport 5000 mAh batteries, but in my personal experience, while I do get solid battery life with the 7 Pro averaging around 6+ hours of screen on time with heavy use and the occasional 8+ hours with very light casual use, the Ultra's battery does end up lasting longer, and depending on how I use it, this can be a 2-day phone for me, and that's mostly thanks to the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chip. This is the more powerful and efficient chipset over the Tensor G2. Period. The Tensor G2 was made with the primary focus centered around AI and machine learning, but it does handle everyday tasks in gaming very well. It's fast and smooth, and in my experience, I haven't had any major complaints, but it does get warm more easily, and it's not as efficient. And for more demanding things like hardcore gaming, the Ultra is the clear winner. To me, if your everyday use consists of basics like social media, email, web browsing, media streaming, messaging, things like that, then either device will serve you well. If you're looking to use your phone as a secondary or even primary high-octane gaming device, you multitask a lot, and you want to stream a lot of movies and TV shows, the Ultra should be your pick. So we've already established that the S23 Ultra is the better phone from top to bottom, but it should be, considering its starting price is $300 more than the Pixels. You can find either one on sale through different retailers, and you can find different trade-ins and deals through different carriers and whatnot. You can also factor in each device's respective ecosystems. Samsung's is more seasoned, and there's more exclusivity on its side with how different devices work with one another, but Google's ecosystem is on the rise, so don't sleep on it. But since both run Android, it is nice that they will work with a lot of the same devices just fine. Phones have gotten so good that regardless of the price tier, you're going to walk away with a very good device. For me, I've used both of these as my main phone, and I could honestly use either one indefinitely. Now, if I had to pick one that I would use for, let's say, the next 5 years, for example, I'd probably go with the S23 Ultra. It truly is the do-it-all phone. It's a power user's dream, and it's a near-perfect phone. But since I've recently been moving away from wanting my phone to be the complete do-it-all option, opting for more of a daily workflow companion that boasts very good value, something that comes with great quality of life features that I won't exactly find elsewhere, the 7 Pro is a phone that I could just as easily get away with using for a long time too. What do you think of the S23 Ultra versus the Pixel 7 Pro? Which one would you pick? I went ahead and I tagged both of these smartphones within the YouTube product tag feature sponsored by YouTube themselves, so check it out below. Drop the lightning emoji in the comments if you made it to this point of the video. Hope you enjoyed. It's been Zach, and thanks for watching.